Welcome back to the channel, boys. Fablinski's coming at you next with this Nothing Manacles build. And I have a confession, I literally just recorded this build, but I never plugged in my mic, boys. So this is my second time recording this build. You guys will never hear it though, because literally my mic wasn't plugged in. How could I forget? But here we are, let's do it. We're going to use Nothing Manacles with this build. We're going to use grenade spam like I have never grenade spam before. We have masterworked Traveler's Chosen. We have some stasis mods. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So for this build, we're going to utilize bottom tree Voidwalker. Of course, we have our scatter grenades on. Now the main reason we're using this subclass is because of the way Devourer works and grenade energy. In case you guys don't know, kills with a melee ability fully regenerate your health. For a short time afterwards, kill restore additional health. So you have survivability. Now you can also consume your grenade to get Devour. So since Nothing Manacles gives you 2 charges of the scatter grenades, you can use your first one to get Devour and use your second one to get kills. And if you get kills while Devour is active, it extends Devour duration and it gives you grenade energy in return. So as you guys can already see, there's some synergy right here. Using Devour, getting kills while Devour is active will give you ability energy, grenade energy in return. As for my loadout, we're utilizing the masterworked version of Traveler's Chosen. The masterwork just makes this gun so crazy. If you don't have Traveler's Chosen, if you don't have the masterwork, a void weapon with demolitionist will also work, but Traveler's Chosen is just like the perfect gun for this build because, as you guys already know, the perk that comes on it is Gathering Light. Final blows with this weapon grant stacks of Gathering Light. You can consume those stacks to get ability energy in return. It goes up to 10 times. And let's say if you don't want to consume those stacks, each stack will give you better reload, handling, and target acquisition. But we got the masterwork this season and I did finish it. So what the masterwork does is it gives you full auto trigger, which is very nice. I hate having to click the button so many times. And it also gives you osmosis. Now, you guys are probably thinking, what the hell, why osmosis? But if you guys think about it, with all the new changes to how you want to get kills with a weapon that matches your subclass element type and this and that, with all the elemental well mods, osmosis was like the perfect perk to give this weapon because now it synergizes with all these new changes with elemental well mods, fonts of might, fonts of wisdom, elemental armaments, and then Verity's brow. Like, there's so many changes that happen, and now this weapon has osmosis. It's just phenomenal. It also gives you, like, I think 2 or 3 more bullets in the magazine, which is really nice. As for the rest of my loadout, I'm using a Truth Teller auto-loading demo blinding nades. Like I said, I want to use void weapons. I do have fonts of might on somewhere right here, fonts of might, so this will give me a nice boost to void damage. Whenever I throw my grenade, my Traveler's Chosen will turn into a void weapon, and then I have Truth Teller, which is a void weapon, giving me more damage. And now I was thinking about using a void rocket launcher, but I like Code Dweller with auto-loading frenzy, so I went with this option. You can also maybe use something like a falling guillotine. That'd be pretty good. Now onto my stats. Now before I get into it, I just want to say that, like, with Traveler's Chosen, the only stat that really matters, actually not even the only stat because I have Devour. I was gonna say the only stat that really matters is recovery, but I have Devour active all the time pretty much, so my health is gonna come back just from getting kills. So really, like, the only, and I have access to assets, which is going to give me my super, so my intellect stat really doesn't matter. So okay, I have 102 recovery and 100 discipline, but does that really matter? I have Traveler's Chosen, I have grenade kickstart, access to assets, bomber, where's bomber? So I have so many other mods that are going to give me my abilities. So I like, honestly, if you weren't able to get these stats right here, it'd be okay. Now this makes it like really min-max, it makes it more efficient, and something where like enemies aren't easily as killed with grenades or something like that. You can get your grenade back really fast, so I think that this will scale really nicely into the end game. But when you're just running around doing regular activities, your stats really don't matter, especially for this build, because there's so many other ways you're gonna get your abilities, get your supers. So honestly, the stats don't really matter for this specific build right now. Now moving on to my mods, let's go ahead and start with our helmet. We're using a double stack of ashes to assets, so I get bonus super energy on grenade kills. I'm going to get tons and tons of grenade kills with this build, so figured I would get some super energy in return for doing so. And then we're also using fonts of wisdom, picking up an elemental wall that matches your subclass energy type, grants you temporary significant increase to your intellect, improving your recharge rate of your super. So right now my intellect is at 23, so getting that, I think it's like plus 50 will make it 73. But again, I have double stack of ashes to assets plus all the grenade spam, so realistically I'm gonna get my super energy from getting my grenade kills. I'm also using elemental ordnance, so that's how I'm gonna be able to spawn all these elemental wells. Now moving on to my gauntlets, which is also my exotic piece of choice, we're utilizing Nothing Manacles. Now the armor perk that comes with this is Scatter Charge. You gain an additional scatter grenade, plus it enables tracking for this scatter grenade projectiles. Before, you just throw your scatter grenade and they scatter, just like they say. But with this exotic, it makes so they're more focused. The damage is more precise. So if you throw it at a boss, all the projectiles will just go right on the boss. If there's a group of enemies, they'll actually track to the enemy so you can clear them out very easily. Absolutely love this exotic. If I'm ever gonna run Void, I'm probably gonna run this exotic over anything. I do like Sculpt Diarm card, but I think this is better in my opinion. Now we're also using these, since we have the stasis element on these gloves, we're using some new stasis mods. We got grenade kickstart. When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. It's almost like firepower without being charged with light. We're using a double stack. Now there is a hefty cost, it's 4 each. So right now we're at 8 mod slots, and then we're also using elemental armaments. I didn't know what else to put here. So weapon takedowns with a damage type that matches subclass element type have a chance to spawn an elemental well. Traveler's Chosen has osmosis now. Throw a grenade, turn into a void weapon. Getting kills with it has a chance to spawn an elemental well. The more elemental wells, the better. Now onto my chest piece. There's really only one mod that's important here. Well of Tenacity. Picking up a void elemental well reduces the damage you take from combatants for a short period of time. So not only do I have Devour, which is going to give me my health back, picking up these void elemental wells would make me take less damage from combatants in the first place. So now I have survivability from health regen, and I take less damage, plus all the damage resistance I have on. I'm really survivable with this build. On my legs, the only important mod we have on here is Fonts of Might. Picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass element type grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage of that same elemental type. So I'm using void weapons. Traveler's Chosen will turn void when I throw a grenade. Picking up these elemental wells will give me a damage buff to void weapons. And lastly, moving on to my warlock bond, we're using a double stack of bomber mod, so whenever I do cast my rift, the few times that I do, or if I need to pop it, I get some grenade energy in return. And then we're also using elemental ordnance, so whenever I do defeat combatants with my grenades, I spawn elemental wells so I can pick those up and get my whole build going. It's fantastic. I have so much grenade spam with this build. Traveler's Chosen, Devour, getting kills with it active. Elemental wells, just picking them up will give me ability energy. Grenade kickstart. There's just so many ways I'm gonna get my grenade back. I absolutely love it. And moving on to my warlock fashion, this chest piece is actually one of my favorites in the game. I just love the way it looks in the warlock. It's like actual robes, and then underneath, like, you can actually see the muscle definition, at least a little bit on the warlock. And I like that it's two-tone, like this side is the golden side or whatever your shader would be, but for me it's golden and this side is white. I absolutely love that I transmogged this, and now I just like have it, and I'm gonna use it more often because I really like it. So let's go ahead and take a look at my warlock fashion on the ornaments. I actually also really like how the purple really stands out with this build on my helmet, on the gauntlets and stuff. So here are all my shaders, and here are my ornaments. If you guys want to create this fashion, now you can screenshot it and do whatever you want with it. So when I was first putting together this build, I thought it was going to be a bit overkill because I have like Traveler's Chosen and Grenade Kickstart and Elemental Wells, Devour, getting kills. And at first I was like, maybe I can try and, I don't know, put my stats somewhere else, or maybe it's a bit overkill. But the more I played with it, I was like, I don't care if it's overkill because it's so much fun. And honestly, I can get like 3, 4, I've sometimes even gotten 5 grenades like back to back. And although that might be overkill, it's good. Having a lot of grenades is good. Cracking Devour is good. Why would you not want to do that? So yeah, maybe sure you can spec in a little bit other things, like you might have a little bit higher intellect or strength, whatever it may be. But I have high recovery, which is really good for the warlock, so my health comes back. I'm using Devour. I have 100 discipline. I have nothing Manacles. Traveler's Chosen, so I get my abilities back anyway. I have the Font of Wisdom mod on, so I'm getting super energy, ashes to assets. Like, I think all my bases are covered here with this build. So I'm getting super energy. I can get super kills. Just, I can do boss damage with the super. I have a rocket. I got damage buff from Font of Might. Nothing Manacles gives me 2 grenades. Devour, which gives me health. Well of Tenacity, which will give me damage resist, plus my damage resist mods. I have everything I need with this build. It's actually kind of crazy now that I think about it. And I think one of my favorite parts about this exotic is that you can put on any 3 of the subclasses. My next build with this exotic is going to be in Top Tree, and I want to do some build crafting with that. I think that build isn't going to be about the grenade spam, rather the potency of the grenade. So I gotta figure it out more, but I'm really excited to try it out because the overcharge grenades are really powerful. So I gotta do some thinking, some build crafting, but I'm really looking forward to it. You guys gotta get this exotic. They look cool, first of all, and they're insane. The tracking of the scattered projectiles is nuts because you can use it on a group of enemies. I've even thrown it at bosses, and all the projectiles just go right on the boss, so it does pretty good damage. It's fantastic. Nothing Manacles with a demolish rocket or a true teller with demolitionist, any type of grenade launcher with demolitionist. It's crazy. Shoot your grenade launcher, throw nothing Manacles, throw a scatter grenade, shoot again, maybe wait a couple seconds, throw another one. Like, you know, the possibilities are endless, especially for something like Atheon, where if you're using like a scavenger salvo, oh my god, this is going to be crazy. You guys have to get this exotic. But if you guys like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. It truly helps me out a lot. You can also check out my other videos. Links are in the description below. I have a lot of crazy builds, so go ahead and check that out. And you might as well follow my social media. I have a Twitter and an Instagram, both at @fat_Bloonskis. But with all that being said, deuces.